Escape from Ever After feels like the Paper Mario sequel Nintendo never got around to making. It has everything you're looking for: the charm, the tight combat, an incredible soundtrack, and one completion journey that slowly but surely wore me down. But Achievement Ascension, I complete games to experience everything they have to offer. But how far is each game actually worth climbing? I aim to complete games and judge how much each respects your time with it. Some leave you feeling accomplished, others slowly drive you insane. A great story, tight gameplay, an incredible soundtrack, and a few completely maddening situations later, I earned the Platinum Trophy. The question isn't whether it's a good game. The question is whether every step towards 100% is worth both the journey and the destination. I'll tell you how I feel about the game itself while I take you through it. Like any good Paper Mario inspired adventure, we'll need to collect and accomplish everything there is to earn our platinum. Collectibles, outfits, post-game boss rush, you name it. But first things first, we're going to play through the game's main story and simply have fun with it. In storybook fashion, we're introduced to Flint Buckler, a classic hero who is determined to enter the evil dragon Tinder's castle and save his people from her. We meet our hero as he's ready to confront her once again. He heads in and finds himself in an office building? No dragon, just a receptionist asking if he has an extension. We are quickly introduced to Ever After Incorporated, a real-world company that's moved into the story and changed its characters into employees. Instead of living out their roles, they're now part of a corporate system designed to liberate them from their scripts and put them to work. Naturally, Flint assumes this is all some elaborate trick and responds the only way he knows how, by throwing his buckler directly at the manager, Mr. Moon. This does absolutely nothing. We're thrown into a dungeon where we run into a much smaller, collar-wearing version of our supposed nemesis, Tinder. Not exactly the intimidating dragon we were expecting. With no other options, the two of us decide to work together, because whatever this company is doing to our story, we're going to need each other to fix it. In order to get out, we need to visit Tinder's treasure room to get a key. We find the Koopa Squad, the three blind mice, robbing Tinder blind, and they immediately stack up and square up. Key acquired, mice disrespected, trophy acquired. Apparently, they're only working here because it came with insurance and now they're not blind. Perks of the job, I guess. We make our way out of the dungeon and immediately are recaptured and dropped in front of Mr. Moon. With no other options, we decide we do in fact want a job at Ever After Inc. After accepting and getting an ID badge, we're set up in our very own office and given a computer through which we'll receive new projects and side quests. That was easy. Pinocchio wants a birthday party, but he's that one guy in the office nobody likes. And then there's the old bull with email issues, which sounds like a quick fix, but it absolutely is not. What starts as a simple reset quickly spirals into one of the most drawn-out fetch quests in the game. We'll come back to that. Anyway, on to Chapter 1. With my new corporate career underway, it's time for our first major work assignment, and our first storybook. Ever After Inc. has employed the three little pigs to put apartment buildings up inside their storybook, and things don't seem to be going very well. Flint and Tinder are sent to investigate and hopefully resolve whatever is holding up the project. After fighting our first few basic enemies, we arrive at the construction site to meet a pig named Pudge. Pudge informs us that the village of wolves next door is in the way of construction, and we can help by convincing their advocate, Wolfgang, the illustrious and famous musical wolf, to back off. Before I know it, I've offended the pigs and accidentally joined the resistance. Let's get things going and blow the pigs' high-risers over, right? No. Time for some tasks. Turns out the pig's barrier is made of indestructible hay. Wolfgang decides to join us as a new party member as we realize we all want to stop anything that Ever After is interested in achieving. Luckily enough, there happens to be a solution for indestructible hay nearby. We'll stop for a minute in the wolf village to get ready for the next leg of our journey. A quick rest in the inn nets us a trophy. Off to the musical forest we go with our long-term, proven, trustworthy friends, the three blind mice. As any good story would have, we need to cross a bridge with an angry, toll-demanding troll in the way. After we research him and let him die in his own turn due to burn damage, we receive a trophy. And it's time for the forest. Now, I spent way too long getting intentionally lost in here, for absolutely no reason. There wasn't any hidden secrets for me, only disappointment. We eventually find a small hut leading into the Enchanted Grove, our actual destination. Inside, a magical respec wolf, because why not? I respec immediately, regret my decisions, change it back, and get a trophy for my troubles. It turns out the forest held a new song for Wolfgang. We play his music back at the fortress, and down it comes. No huffing, no puffing, just loot-powered demolition. We head in to find the main construction force, made up of unicorns, in the midst of a strike. They're ready to unionize and take over the site, but they need our help, and we're off to figure out how to operate a giant crane with absolutely no training. I'm pretty sure this is an OSHA violation, but Ever After Inc. doesn't strike me as a strict regulatory type, and what they don't know won't hurt them. We work our way through the construction zone and get ready to deal with those three angry little pigs. Our first chapter boss, and the first time the game starts to push back. A mechanized house filled with pigs, a la Magnus von Grapple from Thousand Year Door, proves a real challenge for Flint and the crew. But with some careful party management, we chase the pigs out and save the village. High rises averted, moving on. At this point, we've climbed our first hill, and I like the view. I'm excited to see what comes next. The trophies and collectibles have felt natural, and like rewards for exploration. We return to head office completely sure we're getting fired, to find we've outed the pigs for doing some shady business with their job site, and are rewarded for having the initiative to take them down. Our first promotion. Climbing the corporate ladder is easy when you have secret ulterior motives. Mr. Moon pulls us aside for a special project. We need to sneak into the restricted section of the library, because every magical castle needs one of those.
Not in the restricted section.
To find an off-limits book. After a few easy puzzles that didn't make me crash out whatsoever, we have our book and are ready to dive in. We're immediately accused of breaking the rules, but we lie through our teeth to keep our job, and we move on. It turns out another employee by the name of Sherlock Holmes was doing an investigation in this book and has gone missing. We enter a quiet coastal town that feels off. The atmosphere shifts hard. Things are kind of scary. A little wandering the town leads to racist ducks and a general sense of not being welcome. Our investigation starts simply enough, along with the local duck merchant threatening to kill us for a trophy. A few clues, some light exploration, and a suspiciously convenient hotel room. The moment the game gives you a free place to rest, you already know you're going to need it. Very quickly, this turns into a full-on mystery. Secret passages, hidden rooms, and eventually, we break into what is very clearly some kind of cult gathering. The combat here is getting a little tougher. Then, we find Sherlock's room, and more importantly, hop out of the window to find a sick new detective outfit and the ability to track footprints. From here, the tone shift really kicks in. Combat is clearly harder. I start playing safe. I'm thinking ahead, planning turns, actually paying attention to every input instead of coasting through fights. Before I know it, I'm running back toward the hotel to heal after every few encounters. We end up at Quail Manor, where there's something clearly strange going on. We meet Madame Quail, and eventually a friendly chef named Duckster. Duckster and I did not get along. I helped the menacing-looking fellow to make dinner because that's what good corporate detectives do. The investigation escalates, and before long, we're dealing with transformations, strange encounters, and a sudden visit from HR, where we end up in a boss fight in the literal sense, because our boss is an undead wizard kangaroo. At this point, the game is fully committed to the chaos, and honestly, so have I. Madame Quail is the one running the cult. Who could have guessed it? She sets Duxter on us, and we start the battle. He seems to be cut down pretty quickly before his anime moment, where he announces he is completely invincible and can now apparently do 99 damage for instant kills. Sounds good. We're separated, and two of us are left on a little ocean island. But it's a real coincidence and luck that our new party member just happens to know how to transform us into a seal. We work our way towards our friends. They're held up at the church. And this should be a tense moment. You're being hunted by Duxter. Everything's escalating, and it's supposed to feel like this desperate escape. Instead, I'm fighting the controls more than the enemy. Movement feels just off enough that every turn becomes frustrating, and instead of tension, it turns into irritation. It's not hard in the way the combat is, it's just clunky. The kind of section where you mess up, not because you made a bad decision, but because the game didn't quite do what you expected. This only lasts a few minutes, but I remember it as one of the most frustrating portions of the game. And then it gets worse. When I do get through, I'm now locked into a sequence I can't leave from with no warning. No respec, no adjustments, no way out. And this is where the difficulty spike really hits. The Duxter fight is the turning point. Instead of fighting him directly, you have to destroy his heart, but it heals every turn. If you fall behind, the fight resets itself and you lose. There's no way to change your build if you're not prepared. I get my first game over, and my second, and my third, and my fourth. So if you're not ready for this fight, time for a good old-fashioned grinding session.
2 hours later.
Eventually, Duxter is dead and I'm not sorry. There's no satisfaction here, just relief. From there, things only continue to escalate. We break out and into an ever after office? I don't think I could be surprised anymore. The company's supporting the cult. Sure. Let's stop them. Ever After has been sending employees to be sacrificed for some kind of data collection, and you thought a company selling your email address was bad. Time for a cult deity boss fight. The fight that follows is less of a duel and more of a controlled collapse. Between timing heavy attacks, environmental hazards, and big damage, this is the point where the game really stops eating you in. It's no longer learn the system, it's prove you've been learning it. Eventually, I push through and get him down. Barely. After everything the chapter throws at you, it finally ends in the most absurd way possible. Sherlock shows up. He's fine. Sure, no problem. Glad you're alive. He fell in love with Cthulhu and didn't get eaten. Moving on. We've reached a new peak. The game has started to show its teeth, and I'm forced to plan each step to continue the climb. I signed up for a challenge, and that's what I'm starting to get. Let's see what's next. Back at headquarters, there's no time to process what just happened. We're promoted again. We're rewarded with a company retreat, even though we broke all the rules. Nothing says, good job surviving the cult conspiracy, like a mandatory team building exercise. And now, with the CEO personally overseeing operations, who is almost definitely our final boss, we're assigned something different, and we'll get our next promotion out of this. A treasure hunt. Chapter 3 begins. Now, I'm a big fan of pirates personally, so I was genuinely excited to check this one out. Unfortunately, this is where the game kind of fakes scale. Instead of actually exploring the ocean, we're thrown into a string of back-to-back encounters. Pirate enemies, naval themes, different combinations, but it's basically just a gauntlet. Not hard, just constant. In what should feel the most open, there's actually not even much to explore here. It's less open sea adventure and more HR-approved combat simulator. Eventually, we reach this chapter's island village, which is more or less just the Wolf Village or Innsbeak town wearing a new hat. I grab a trophy for jumping on the bar top, swap out our lucky clover for some loaded dice, and take those back to the castle. Do you remember that angry bull who needed a hard drive before I ever entered a book? Yeah. I've been trading random items all the way through the game, and now I can finally get at it. We're rewarded with a piggy bank. Sure. After the detour, we head back to meet our new friend and party member, Patches. He's the ever-after IT guy, and apparently we missed a giant camera in our office. He knows all about our plot to take this place down. Naturally, he joins the team. How about another 4,000 encounters to get across the ocean? The non-stop encounters had me needing another break, so I decided to go see Little Red Riding Hood's grandma in a book I got a while back. It turns out, Grandma has a mean streak, so we beat her up. I'm willing to do some strange things for trophies. Anyway, back to piracy. We find ourselves in a volcano after our last piece of the treasure map with the mice. Of course, they immediately steal the treasure map and run while the volcano is about to blow. This section is chaotic, it's stressful, but at least this time the controls actually work. This has me even more annoyed with Duckster. We barely make it out, get back to the ship, and set off one last time. We catch up with the mice, and I proceed to kill them with my guitar. Onto the island, get the door open, and offer some treasure. And for once, the game doesn't mess with us. We walk straight into the treasure room. No puzzles, no tricks. This is almost shocking compared to the rest of the chapter I just went through. Our captain is ready to take the treasure and sail off into the sunset with us. For the first time in the entire game, we're given a way out from the company. But we have to keep going. Captain Silver doesn't like that. The fight starts. And yeah, this one hurts. My favorite fight in the game, which is ironic considering I just had to do 50,000 straight fights to get here. We are forced to swap partners for different phases of the fight, forcing some new strategies. It's nice having my hand forced instead of just abusing the best moves over and over. Duel of the Mates is an incredible name for this trophy, by the way. Before I know it, I'm the captain now, and we're headed back with just enough gold to buy our next promotion. The creativity in storytelling is still present, but the gameplay and pacing is starting to show some cracks. Our climb has definitely slowed a little from this chapter, even though it ended on a great story beat. Finally, we've made it. Director of Storybook Affairs and access to the real world. Except, surprise, the CEO gave the job to her nephew instead. Welcome to corporate reality. There goes our plans. Patches has a new idea for us. Back to the hidden library. Before we go, we're clearly advised to tie up any loose ends we might have to deal with. Time for some trophy cleanup. Remember that useless piggy bank for the super long side quest? This idiot pig wants it. They got fired after our meeting with HR. Thanks, Pudge. Trophy pop for trading about 3 billion items. We help out the lovely couple who promised to be there when we need them. Ominous. With a quick trip through the super secret restricted section, part 2, and one of the most infuriatingly confusing puzzles I've ever had the displeasure of completing in my life, which took me far longer than I'd like to admit and burned brain cells. We continue on to chapter 4. At this point, I'm happy enough with the story. The gameplay is keeping me entertained, and the collectibles have felt very naturally discoverable through exploration. Our next book? Full sci-fi. We need a spacesuit just to survive here, and conveniently there's one waiting for us. There's the outfit trophy. But none of that matters. Mr. Moon has finally caught on. The jig is up. We're going to be taken into custody when this ship lands. Good thing we brought the tech bear to save us. Our ship is set to explode. The party gets split up, and we're forced into escape pods. From here on out, we're in full-on runaway mode. And this section gets rough. The ship explodes, we're all separated, and I'm forced to get creative with my strategies as I'm piecing the team back together. Somewhere in the middle of all that, I'm still stopping to blow out a random fire pit to pop a trophy. With the team back together, the R&D lab is one big interconnected puzzle, linking colored pipes across multiple rooms, constantly running back and forth to open the way forward. We need to find all 4 terminals and get the machinery online. After what feels like way too long, we finally push through, and right on cue, Mr. Moon catches up. Tinder betrayed us. We are cooked. She made a deal to get something close to her own life back in a new book, and traded us out to do it. Mr. Moon sends her on her way, and breaks our paths to the real world. So we square up like we did right at the beginning of the game. To the surprise of absolutely nobody, he's still completely invincible. He proceeds to ruin our entire day, breaks our path forward, and leaves us there. Until Tinder comes back. She fires up a conveniently placed super laser, and finally cracks through his defenses. With the team back together, we retreat to the office. Now, this raises some questions. Weren't we being hunted by the entire company? Whatever. We have a few more things to clean up, and we can see our ink bottle and sun gem progress per book now. Now this may seem like a small detail, but I really appreciate it. No need to find an outside guide and recheck every location. I've been collecting them as I go, so I only have a few to clean up. But first, we run into Mr. Moon's office. That strange safe in the corner is now open, and it has an old beat-up book. Mr. Moon's home. I guess we know where he's gone off to. I'm going to check in on an old friend before the grind begins. We help Captain Silver with a side quest, which turns out to be more of a fun journey in itself than the entirety of Chapter 3, as it wasn't filled with 9 million fights. Now, we wander through every area to find what we missed. This takes more time than I'd like to admit. Eventually, we get back to the castle and find our last ink bottle for a trophy. Then, we run over to the Blind Mouse shop to buy them out. Badge is complete. We lend a shady unicorn some money and do a bit of item crafting for a few more trophies. Anyway, off to Mr. Moon's house. Some of this felt a little unnecessary, and I was collecting items I really didn't have much use for, even on hard mode. It still helped me explore all the areas and see every corner of each place I've been to, however, so I'm still happy. This place is falling apart. Dark, empty spaces, pieces of the world just missing. It's short, but it hits. We grab our final sun gem for the trophy. We deal with one last puzzle and step into the rematch. Now this time, we can actually fight him. And his secretary, who he was totally sleeping with. That's an HR disaster. The key mechanic here is his rotating shield, forcing you to manage positioning and damage direction carefully. It's tough, pretty annoying, but I thought this was the best use of all the mechanics in the entire game. You have to use your directional attacks with strategy to damage him, or you just lose. And for once, it feels totally fair. When the fight ends, Mr. Moon isn't really our enemy anymore. He's just another part of the system, and we get him. His world was falling apart, and ever after was his way to keep surviving. And now, we finally go where we've been trying to reach the whole time. But first, a quick stop in the office. I missed literally the first office item I could have found. Another trophy. We arrive in the real world, and it's completely run down. Turns out the company didn't just exploit storybook characters. They got rid of their own human employees too. Too expensive, so the building is just falling apart. What a convenient way to complicate my climb. The climb to the top is filled with stronger versions of enemies we already know. At this point, if your timing is solid, the difficulty isn't overwhelming. Just pay attention and the climb continues. At the top, the board of directors. 4 bosses at once, and they have to go down together. Take one out too early, and they come right back. So, it's all about controlling damage, managing turns, and keeping everything balanced. It's hectic, but manageable. With them gone, there's only one person left, the CEO. We walk in, ready for the final fight. And instead, we get the truth. The CEO starts up a villain origin story to really set the scene for us. It turns out, she wrote Flint and Tinder's story. And it was just something to sell. She didn't even care about us. Now we're ready to immediately throw hands. We end up on the roof where the machine running this whole thing is, and it's time. This is the real final test. Everything in the game is thrown at you, stacked into one fight. A main body, floating hands that keep coming back, constant pressure. This isn't reaction anymore, it's planning. Managing turns, resources, and execution all at once. As the fight goes on, we're pulled through each of the storybooks we visited. We see the mice, the pigs, Sherlock, Cthulhu, Captain Silver, everyone. Everyone shows up, and it actually feels like the culmination of the entire journey. Something that many games struggle to do. In the final stretch, we're pulled back into Mr. Moon's world, and this time, he stays behind, holding the CEO off while we go destroy the network. Back in the real world, we get a triple trophy pop. One for beating the CEO, one for beating the CEO with help from all our friends, aka completing all the side quests, and one for beating the game on hard mode. Honestly, my journey felt pretty complete here. Unfortunately, there's still some work left to do. With that sorted, time to immediately drop the difficulty and clean up the last few trophies for the platinum. Research list, stairs of success, and boss rush. Now the stairs, which are basically just the pit of 100 trials, are an absolute slog. Even on easy, it's a mindless and slow climb to the top of the tower. Fight after fight of similar enemies, and I'm always on the lookout to see missing health bars so I can research. It takes longer than I'd like, and it wasn't particularly engaging. With the final climb done, surely that's everything, right? The research list has to be complete. That last pig fight was entries 98, 99, and 100. A reward for the stairs is a free partner swap, which now doesn't burn the turn, which would have been real nice to have not at the very end of the game. So we're done. Right? No. I missed one. One research. And I have no idea what it is. I'm all but finished and I'm being held hostage by a health bar. Frustrated with this and not wanting to deal with it, I decide to go to do my only other task first. The boss rush. I start this up and fight my way through every major and minor boss the game had for me. It feels really good casually just crushing the first several bosses. Especially Drugster, who ruined my life. When I get back to the Captain Silver fight, it hits me. That barrel under him doesn't have a health bar. Emotional damage in his story beats, and again with my second last trophy. I've scanned every enemy in the game and missed a barrel. Anyway, the rest of the boss fights go as expected. I didn't have any struggle beating them back to back. Once the CEO goes down again, I'm returned to the castle. After being reminded that I'm still nothing more than an intern, we get our last trophy, and finally, the platinum. And just like that, our mountain of achievements has been ascended. So was it worth it? The story was incredible and witty. The soundtrack was elite. I absolutely think you should finish it, but you shouldn't complete it. Some games leave you wanting another adventure. This one left me wanting one last trophy. Beating the game on hard mode, having completed all side quests, felt like the peak of the climb. It pulled together everything I'd accomplished for a nice payoff. Being able to drop the difficulty and do what was basically just grindy content to finish off really soured that view from the top a little bit. So, there you have it. Escape from Ever After deserves to be finished along with all side quests, but I would comfortably skip the post-game unless you're as obsessed with that platinum trophy sound as I am. So the final verdict is, I would give this story a 9 out of 10, and I would give the completion journey a 7 out of 10. Now, if you enjoyed the climb, feel free to like, comment, and maybe even subscribe. Remember, it's about the journey, not just reaching the peak.